Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I believe I'm live. Let me just triple check that. Yes, I'm live. How are you? Welcome to what is going to be a dark moon ceremony. I am really kind of feeling the dark moon at the moment. I don't know about you. It's going to be a new moon in Scorpio that's coming up. And so the dark of the moon is even sort of more dark and mysterious. And also we have a big astrological event taking place in November, which obviously starts tomorrow, which is Pluto changing signs for the sort of third and final time for the next 20 or so years. And that's very dark as well. Pluto is the lord of the underworld. And so we've got the dark moon now. We've got the new moon, the dark side of Scorpio. We've got Pluto, the dark planet, changing signs. Plus it's Halloween. It's like, and Samhain and all this. So it's a pretty intense time. So before we get into the whole dark moon ceremony, I just wanted to tell you a tiny little bit about the new moon tomorrow, just so you're ready. And I'm going to be reading from my beloved Moonology diary. And I do actually have the one for next year here. If you don't have it yet, go to moonmessages.com/my diary and you'll get access to my big workshop that comes with the diary as well, all about the astrology of next year. So I wanted to just quickly mention the new moon, which is coming up tomorrow, because actually what we do now with the dark moon is so strongly related to the new moon tomorrow. It's almost like preparation for tomorrow. One sort of analogy that's coming to mind is something I learned in India many years ago, which is that yoga, doing yoga, asanas, yoga postures, positions, is really preparation for meditation. So in theory, you do yoga before you meditate to kind of get yourself physically ready to meditate. And in a way, the dark moon is like that to the moon. The dark moon is to yoga as new moon is to meditation. So the dark moon, the work we do now, is in preparation for tomorrow's new moon. And it's going to be in Scorpio. And I'm just going to tell you the times around the world. I will be doing a new moon event, a new moon update on my page, on my Facebook page. And for those who you don't know me, I'm Yasmin Boland. If you're in my membership area, I'll be doing a special thing for you guys as well. So tomorrow is the new moon. In LA, it's November 1, 5:47 a.m. New York, 8:47 a.m. London, November 1, all November 1. London, November 1, 12:47 p.m. And Sydney, November 1 at 11:47 p.m. And basically, I'll explain more tomorrow, but you want to make your new moon wishes just after the new moon. All right, so let's talk about the dark moon, okay? As you can see on the screen, it says a time of release. And so one of the reasons why the dark moon is sort of so useful just before the new moon is because it is a chance to let go of any upsets, any dramas that might otherwise hamper your new moon wishes, your new moon intention setting. So new moon, we do very conscious creation. So the law of attraction states like unto itself is drawn. So if you're full of anger or upset or disappointment or drama or jealousy or fear or trepidation, anger, then you're just putting that out into the universe. Like attracts like, so you're going to attract more of that. And the new moon is when the veil between the worlds is thinnest, and so sometimes you'll even end up attracting stuff that you don't want to attract. So we use the dark moon to release and let go ahead of the new moon manifesting tomorrow. And I should say, as I say every month, it's not really pure astrology. I'm very much a pure astrologer. And normally I wouldn't really do anything that wasn't really within the remit of astrology. But the dark moon kind of came and got me a few years back, and quite a few years back now. And it's become one of the most precious and sacred parts of my monthly practice. So the dark moon holds really a transformative power, and it's a crucial time to shed negativity and to prepare for new beginnings, because you want to get rid of that negativity ahead of the new moon. Now, one of the best ways to shed negativity, it's a bit like they say, a few years ago, there was sort of like a debate about detoxing. You know, can you actually detox? Can you eat? Are there foods you can eat to help you detox? And all the skeptics came out and they were going, no, you can't detox. There's nothing you can eat to detox. And I sort of thought at the time, they really haven't understood this. We're not talking about detoxing like I'm going to eat okra, for example. Apparently it's very good for detoxing, and it's going to somehow clean me out. It's not that. It's basically about what you're putting into your body will eventually push out what you don't want. So another really good way to describe this same sort of feeling is, and I used it the other day, but if you have a glass with mud, wet mud in the bottom, and you start filling it up with water, what's going to happen? All the mud's going to swirl around in the glass, and then eventually you keep pouring in the water, and the clean water will replace the dirty water, and you'll eventually end up with a clean glass of water. And that's kind of what I'm leading up to saying is kind of what we're doing when we're chanting. Okay, chanting is very much, I mean, there are so many proven benefits of chanting: regulating the nervous system, creating community, making people just feel better. But there's also an element of chanting which is filling yourself, your body and your mind and your heart with good stuff, like clean water coming into your body. So one way to start off any dark moon ceremony is to chant. Now, as you can hear, I'm just coming out of a cold, and I have a pretty raspy voice right now. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I am going to attempt to do my chakra clearing chant that I love to do. It's the perfect time to do this. And we've got another chant towards the end of our session today as well. I don't actually know how my voice is going to go because I haven't chanted today out loud anyway, but let's have a go. This is the chakra clearing chant, and I may end up just speaking it. Let me see how I go. But it's a chant that I learned in India many years ago now, like at least 8 or 10 years ago now. And it's to clear out the chakras, to clear out any energetic mess. So it's the water coming in to wash out the mud. Even though, as they also say in India, no mud, no lotus, okay? But this is the time to clear out ahead of the new moon. So let's have a go. Here we go. And if you know it, chant along. If you don't, just listen. Hari Om Nam Lam Mam Vam Sim Ram Vam Yam Yam Ham Shiva Ram Swaha. And we call in the divine to help us release any negativity, anything that's holding us back, anything that needs to go ahead of our manifesting, ahead of the new moon. Just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just release it all on the out breath. Do it 2 more times. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay. All right. So in theory, our chakras are now aligned. So let's just talk a little bit more about the dark moon. So as it says here, hopefully you can see the dark moon is the final phase before the new moon, representing a significant moment for introspection and clearing out the old. From a kind of more practical point of view, the dark moon takes place in the hours before the new moon. I've given you the time of the new moon tomorrow. And the new moon takes place once a month so the sun takes a year to go around the zodiac, and the moon goes around once a month. So once a month, the moon and the sun are on the same degree of the zodiac. And in the case of tomorrow, they will be on the same degree of the zodiac in the sign of Scorpio. I believe they'll be on 9 degrees of Scorpio. And it's always been a time for making wishes. and the dark moon comes just before it. Now, I told you that the dark moon is not astrology per se. So, you know, in astrology, we have all sorts of rules, like the new moon lasts until the moon is 45 degrees away from the sun, and then you move out of the new moon phase. Because the dark moon is not strictly astrology, we don't have any rules like that. I can't say it starts 12 hours before or 8 hours before or, you know, a day before or whatever. What I can say is it's very much embedded in the balsamic moon phase, which is of the 8 traditional lunar phases. It's the last one before the new moon. But I think the point is that really it's just before the new moon. It's as we get to the very end of the waning cycle. We can't see the moon anymore. The skies are dark. And yeah, so we are in the dark moon phase. Sorry, I'm having a lozenge because of my throat. Sorry, I hope doesn't seem too rude. And it's very much now. Okay, so you may feel a darkness. You may feel going into the void. And you may feel that now is the time to really be a little bit introspective, okay, and to clear away negativity. The energy is perfect for digging deep and thinking about what you want to release. So what I'm going to ask you to do in a second is to let me know in the comments, what is it you want to release, okay? It might not sound like a ritual, kind of isn't a ritual in a way, but make it a ritual. Just take a moment now to get centered and to think, what is it you are willing to let go of now? Just let go of it. What are you just letting go ahead of the new moon? Maybe it's fear about something. Maybe it's disappointment. Maybe you've been clinging on to something and causing a delay in your life where you need to move forward at the new moon. So let me know in the comments, if you would, about what you are releasing. So I'm looking here. Alicia, intense reactions. Venice, limited thinking and fear mindset. Brilliant. Melanie, releasing. Yeah, this is all perfect. Releasing resentment. Marla, fear of getting things wrong. Brilliant. Lindsay, control over life in the next few years. Perfect. So it's about letting all that go, just letting it go. Deborah, releasing the need to correct other people's opinions. That's a good one, especially in the States where you've got your election happening this week, where everybody's got a different opinion. And, you know, who doesn't want to say, oh, you should vote like this or you should vote like this? I'm actually going over to the States for the election, would you believe? I know you didn't believe me when I said I was fascinated by American politics. Well, that's how fascinated I am. So, yeah, we're going to have a new moon and then an election in the States. Very interesting. Okay, so basically, yes, it's about releasing. Now, one of my favorite ways to release is to do another chant. And this one is to the goddess Kali. Now, Kali is the goddess of destruction. Okay. That sounds bad, sounds scary, but actually, Kali's an amazing, amazing goddess who will help you to destroy anything negative in your life, anything that needs to go. Okay, so we're going to do a chant to Kali, and then I'm actually going to do a card. I have my Kali oracle, so I'm going to grab the Kali oracle. Here we go. We will do a Kali card. I have the Alana Fairchild Kali oracle. Not a Hay House product, but I don't think Hay House will mind me using it. I only use it every now and then because I find it a little bit intense, this deck. But I know some of you like it. We'll do a card, but first of all, we're going to invoke Kali, the goddess of destruction, and we're going to do that with a chant to help us to destroy whatever needs to go so that our highest good can now begin to unfold. And that's really the essence of the dark moon. You know, we kind of talk about manifesting, but it's also really so that our highest good can unfold. Okay, so I'm going to take this card and I'll look at it in a minute. I haven't looked at it yet, but let's call in Kali with a chant, my voice holds out. I'm only going to say her name 3 times. I'm actually going to say Om Kali Ye Namaha, which means Om is like picking up the cosmic telephone. Kali Ye is like a way to honor her. And Namaha is I bow down. So let's do it. We'll call in Kali. And as you do it, if you want to put more in the comments about what you're letting go or think about what you're letting go, okay, what you're willing to move on from. This is the time to get rid of the stuff. All right, so here we go. Om Kaliye Namaha. Om Kaliye Namaha. Om Kaliye Namaha. We call in Kali, help us to get rid of any negativity, anything toxic, any blockages in our lives, so that we can now start to manifest our highest good. Om Namo Narayani, Om Namo Narayani, Om Namo Narayani, which is just a little chant to my teacher in India. All right, are you ready for your Kali card? This is the card we have. It's Kuru Kala 34. If this card is for you, put it in the comments. This card is for me. And let's hope it's one of those easy Kali cards. Is this card for you? Just put me or this card is for me in the comments. She is vibrant red, pulsating with feminine power, infusing our hearts with her capacity for sacred sorcery. Well, that's exactly what we're doing here right now. Okay, so let's have a look. Kurukula is a shamanic folk goddess who is adopted into the spiritual traditions of Hinduism and Buddhism. Kurukula is one of the Kali Nityas, the medicine goddesses of the waning moon cycle. That's so good because we're in the waning moon cycle. A powerful sorceress. Well, we're kind of doing sorcery here. Goddess in sorcery. Enchantress and conqueror of enemies. Got an enemy you need to conquer? Kali's there. Hers is the realm of magnetism and charisma, spellcrafting, and the power of attraction. All right, so I'll just quickly go over the page. She bestows the ability to remain open to life without fear. Sometimes due to past experiences of pain, we close ourselves off from life in an effort to avoid further harm. And so she will help us to remain open to life without fear. So get rid of those fears, all right, ahead of the new moon. So I think I'm going to leave it there. We have prepared ourselves nicely, I think, for the new moon. And it's really now going to be time to let the medicine of the dark moon course through our bodies energetically. If you came in late, watch it again. If you watched it, go back and do the chants again. And just remember, the dark moon is the time to release ahead of tomorrow's new moon. And I'll be back tomorrow on my page, Yasmin, Boland, Moonology, with a new moon update. And for my members, we'll be doing new moon manifesting. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Hey House. Thank you all for being there. Lots and lots of love.